Okay, good morning, everybody. Hope everybody is well. Happy Tuesday. Hope everyone's having an incredible day, incredible week. Spoke yesterday about the concept of thresholds. Everywhere in life, what you're looking at is thresholds. If you can see closely, our idea is to put God in your thresholds so that you understand the depth and the power, and you get the extra protection and support when you cross into thresholds. But understanding how thresholds work are critical. Critical. Years ago, I was sitting in a meeting with a CEO of a company, and his father was sick, and he was, I guess, the responsible son. So dealing with doctors, and it was, a difficult time for him personally. And I remember in this meeting, it was a very complicated meeting, and the investment that he made into this massive asset he was seeing was going in a different direction. It was really professionally challenging. So he's sitting in the meeting, and the phone call comes in, and he looks at what it is, and it's his father's doctors, and he excuses himself. And I watched through the glass. And I can almost, because I was sitting at the door, I can almost like sort of hear bits and pieces. It was not good at all. His father passed not far after that, but the conversation with the doctor was not a positive one. And I watched him outside, like, finish the call and like compose himself. Like, I can almost see in his brain he had to shift back. There was a whole bunch of people waiting for him in the room, and he had to lead. But he was caught up in this other thing that was more important. So I watched him. It was fascinating. I was really young. I was in the beginning of my career, and I just was so taken by this moment. And he like shifted. Like, I can almost like feel his brain was like, it was just like his body language. Like, took a deep breath, paused, he composed himself, like he just settled himself down. And then he opened the door, and like, his problems aren't everyone's problems. He led the meeting. What he was doing in his mind was creating a threshold. His personal life and his professional life. There was a moment. He stopped at something. He created a space in his mind between my personal life and my professional life. Sometimes in life we don't do that. You come home after a long day and you bring your problems from work and you manifest it onto your family. You can't take it out on your coworkers, so you take it out on your family. You can't take it out on your boss, so you take it out on your kids. Or you leave your home and you're in that world, and then you get to work and you just pick up the phone and you call back home. And you spend the day at work at home. Or you go somewhere, you have a wonderful, inspiring moment. And in that moment you find a piece of yourself. And that piece of yourself you want. You want that piece of yourself to last. But you don't know how to take it through the threshold. You don't know how to go to a threshold and say, hey, I'm here now. I'm about to go out there. But I'm not the same person that I was. I want to find a way to take all more of me out into the world. When we pause for a brief moment at the thresholds of our lives, we give our minds the ability to be able to make the next thing we're doing more powerful. When life is a constant treadmill and we're always running on it, there's no thresholds. I see this between me and you every week. Shabbat is an incredible threshold. There's this it's like an incredible threshold, right? Because there's this world that descends on you at a moment in which totally everything's different. The rules change. The purpose changes, and it happens every week. So it's an amazing feeling when you go from Friday to 5 minutes before Shabbat till Friday 5 minutes after Shabbat, where like your world changes, like literally, what you do, what you don't do, what you can do, what you can't do. You know, getting in that last email versus I gotta wait to send it tomorrow night. Like that mentality. What happened? It's Friday. It's 4:18 and now it's 4:25. You know what happened? The world changed. And Shabbat came. And for me, that threshold is one of the most powerful moments of the week. And the threshold on the way out too. When you leave Shabbat. Right? And you make Havdalah and then it all breaks loose. I used to dread that post Havdalah feeling when you make Havdalah and then you put on your phone, and like, back in the old days we had Blackberries. And you hear bzz 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 because they used to buzz you. Remember Blackberries? So BlackBerry, I don't know. I think they had every time you got an email, it buzzed, buzz, 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 buzz. So like you can feel buzzing the whole day. So I used to have phantom buzzing the whole Shabbat. I'd be touching my belt because I used to wear a BlackBerry on my belt. I don't know if you guys remember this stuff or not. I don't know if those of you who remember Blackberries. They were the hottest thing in the world, if you remember. For those of you who don't, if you don't remember these days, it was insane. When Blackberries came out, it was the craziest thing in the world. Like, you can go anywhere and get your email. It was psycho. No one even dreamed of it being a phone. No one even dreamed of it being a camera. No one even dreamed of it being a web browser. No one even dreamed of it being Waze and everything else in the world on it. It was just email with a little tiny touchpad. And every time you got an email, bzz, 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 and you literally spent the whole day buzzing. And when I took it off for Shabbat, my belt kept on buzzing in my head. But that dread that I used to have, as soon as you make Havdalah and I go back into my week and you put on your BlackBerry, bzz, and I was working for the law firms, forget about it, bzz, 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 all day, all night. And you're like, okay, settle. It's a threshold. They're powerful thresholds. If you go into your life right now and you create thresholds, so that means you slow down a part of your day at strategic moments throughout your day to pause and to think about where you're from and where you're going, just for a moment. You'll see that you'll be able to find insights and energy where you never thought otherwise. The pause by the door. I'm walking into my house. How do I want to walk into my house? The pause by the car. The pause by the office when you get out of the elevator. Right? The pause in between the things you're doing during the day. That breath, that pause, that moment of reflection, that could be less than 60 seconds. You are time stamping your day. It's not just one long, continuous treadmill now. You're putting in mile markers. You're putting in thresholds. You're creating opportunities for reflection in the day at moments in which you're shifting what you're doing. So you're gaining what you've done and you're preparing for what you're doing and you're deepening your experience on this world and what you're doing. We spoke last week about finding meaning in every little thing in life. This is how we do it practically. You pause at key moments and you allow yourself to be in a place where you're deepening and deepening and deepening. The threshold. Own the threshold. It's owning the border. The most important part of a country is its borders. Because if you don't own the border, it's going to change how you act in the cities. You put borders up throughout your day to gain insight from. We're creating a structure now through to our days to find our meanings. All right, we'll talk about this. All right, everybody, have a great day. With God's help, I cannot wait to see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.
Living on a lifeline, the world doesn't ever seem to change. Looking for the sunshine, but you're caught up in the rain. It's like your eyes are wide open, but you cannot see. You're watching life pass you by like 1, 2, 3. Walking in destruction, the winds of life blur your vision. All the devastation forever feels like you're on the run. It's time. No one else can set you free. You're locked inside, and only you have got the key.